What's up, guys? So this is going to be the video about my VW settlement deal. I guess that's what you can call it. So if you saw the video on me bringing my car to the Volkswagen dealer to get it inspected, they revved my car and like all sorts of stuff and caught him on dash cam. The second time I've caught that dealership revving my car. So you can say, yeah, they didn't rev it that bad, whatever. But clearly they admit in the video that they know they're in the wrong by the way they're acting. So they shouldn't be revving my car at all, and I shouldn't have to take it there every 2 years just to get fucked with by people that don't know anything about it. And they even reference it in that video, like, oh, you know, joking about the last R32 that revved, but it was my car, you know. So we filed a complaint with Volkswagen of America. They called me, you know, I sent them the video and stuff. They offered me a $100 Visa gift card. I guess the dealer had no comment for Volkswagen of America. You know, a lot of people are saying, you know, agreeing with me, and some people are like, oh, they didn't do anything bad, they're just doing their job. Some people are like, oh, they didn't rev it that bad, it's no big deal. And no, they didn't really rev it too bad. Like, I would have revved it more if they just were like, hey, we noticed you had a custom exhaust, can you like rev it for us or something? We want to hear it. Like, I would have totally revved it harder. But you can tell they know they're in the wrong by the way they're acting. And just being all shady like, rev it, I want to hear it. Whispering, like, they know they're not supposed to be doing that. And I don't know why there's like 7 guys touching my car anyways when only one of them's a actual certified state inspection tech. And as far as like, you know, once you modify a car, it not being, you know, legit and able to pass inspection, there's nothing on my R32 that's modified that can't be changed back to stock. As for the suspension, I could just raise it back up to stock height. And then you could take your measurements and it'd be all factory and legal and whatever. You know, my car's not even that low. They talk about a DVD player being deleted or something, and the R32's never had one. They just don't understand about the R32s. And they're talking about like, oh, this guy must make good money. He's got an R32. And it's like, not really. If you know how much the R32s cost, pretty much cheaper than a base model Jetta right now. I mean, you might as well just go buy an R32. So we're just going to clear a couple things up. My tint is within the legal limit. They clearly talk about how they don't have a tint gauge to properly inspect cars. So I mean, how can you be a licensed state inspection station? That's the second one I went to, you know, because I went to the first place and they didn't have a tint gauge, but they were like, oh, we can't do it because of the tinted windows. If you don't have a tint gauge, you can't fail me for tinted windows. It's like you don't have an emissions machine, but you're failing me for emissions, right? Like, it doesn't work like that. You have to have the proper tools. Because you don't want to buy, you know, a $300, $400, $500 gauge. Not my problem. I mean, the rules are the rules. I'm following them, they're not. It's not like that I'm picky and just bitch about little shit with my car. If you look through my video history, I mean, you can see that all the shops that I go to are just complete idiots. You can start with the very first one I went to when I got the car. I went to Warner's Auto Care. You know, VW Audi specialist guys. And I went there because the rear end was clunking. They misdiagnosed it as a broken front spring and wanted $700 to replace 2 front factory springs. That's not struts, not mounts, just 2 factory springs, $700. So I was like, no way, I'll do a full coilover kit for that. I didn't lower my car to be cool or because I wanted to. I did it because VW's factory springs broke. So they wanted $700 just to do the front, and then I was still going to have a broken rear suspension, which I figured out myself while I was doing the coilover kit. So it's like I totally would have got screwed over by them. Then you can go to Jim's Custom Exhaust. I had a tire mounted there. A month later, I go back with the same rims, and I want 4 tires mounted. And they're like, oh, we can't do these. We don't have the machine for it. We'll damage your rims, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, but guy, you just did this rim and tire last month. It's the same rim and tire. I don't understand it. And then on to Speary's Auto and Towing, who said they can't inspect my car for tinted windows, but they didn't have a tint gauge. People are commenting that my car's like a bunch of different colors white. That's because VW covered my fenders under their rust corrosion warranty. That's why you end up with mismatched car. VW warranty work, not anything I did. So just to clear all that up, there will be a video coming with all the things that went wrong with my R32 since I've bought it. Like every single thing, every light bulb that's blown out, like AC repair, complete suspension, just on and on really. So I'm editing up another autocross video right now. I just put a Eurosport X brace in the rear. Here's my Lime Rock videos for the autocross if you want to see those. But yeah, so if you want to see some cool R32 videos, check out the autocross. And I have all types of modifications on my page. You know, everything I've done to the car, so you can follow right along and see what's modified, what's not. But anyways, we'll get $100 out of VW, which that's what it cost me for the sway bar end links, which is all I needed to pass inspection. So it pretty much paid for itself because they had to be idiots and rev my car. And some people were curious about the dash cam that I use. I believe that's the GW1. You can find it on Amazon. It's like 50 bucks right now, I think. It's a decent dash cam, but there are definitely better ones out there now. I've had that for a couple of years. So I mean, all I can really do is post the videos and show you guys, and then you can see, like, you know, one day I had 18 fault codes and 8 malfunctions come up, right? You know, airbag faults and HVAC faults. So if I had to take it to the dealer for that, it would have cost a ridiculous amount because they're so incompetent. So what I had to do was buy the Vagcom cable for Rostec stuff and, you know, all the software for the computer so I could fix it myself so I don't have to go to dealers. A lot of people say that, you know, just do your own work so you don't have to go to the dealership. But the only reason I brought it there was for the state inspection, which you have to do every 2 years in Rhode Island. I wish I could find like Humble Mechanic from YouTube to work on my car. If you look right here on this picture, they couldn't figure out the headlights, how to get the center ones to work. And that's because they're disabled when they bring the R32s into the country. It's nothing I modified. I changed the bulbs, but those lights will come on when you have the key off. As soon as you turn the key on, they're disabled in America. Because we don't have flash to pass lights here, and we're not allowed to have dual high beams. Just, you know, I know more about these cars from the forums than the guys do at the dealership. It's like you're really just better off figuring stuff out online and doing it yourself. They couldn't figure out what the toggle switch was for, but I'm sitting right in the other room at the dealership. They could just come in and ask, like, if they're professional and really cared. And I didn't take it there with the dash cam thinking like, oh, I'm gonna catch these guys on dash cam. It's just I took it there and it happened. Like, I was sitting there and I heard him rev it again. You know, whatever. Volkswagen didn't really care. I'm sure they have bigger problems these days. So for my big VW settlement, you know, $100 Visa card, is it worth it? I'm sure they would have been like, oh, we'll give you free oil changes or something, but obviously I'm not going to take it back to that dealership anymore. As for the exhaust, it still meets all the emissions, blah blah blah. That's the picture from the Wookiees in the Woods, the Dragon Run 129, US Highway 129. Fun's the yearly R32 get together. Been down there a few times. You can check out those videos. If you look at the Google reviews about Speedcraft VW, like, all the recent ones are pretty much horrible. People, you know, misdiagnosed transmission problems where it was just low on fluid. If you just spend a little bit of time waiting for your car in the service department at your local dealership, and if you have any basic knowledge of car repair, just listen to how they talk about the people that aren't there. And, you know, what's wrong with their cars and what they're gonna fix and what they're gonna charge them, and ripping little old ladies off. And it's like, that's not gonna happen with me. I'll just take the car home, put the sway bar and links in myself, and then bring it back for a re-inspection. You know, I'm not gonna pay you guys $109 an hour to stand around. That's another thing in that video. That's the labor rate that they charge the customer there, $109 an hour. Do any of those technicians look like they deserve more than $10 an hour? So yeah, I think that covers everything. I mean, the car can be put back to stock in a couple hours, back to stock ride height, stock exhaust. It's not illegal to put fog lights on your car. So, any more brain busters? Just overall, you can tell they don't know what they're doing, don't know much about the car. And, you know, I never imagined that this video would get this many views about the Speedcraft Volkswagen dealership. So, you know, I guess we'll end this on a happy note. At least I'm getting $100 from VW. But more importantly, everybody got to see the video this time. That, like, there's actual proof that these idiots can't do their job and know nothing about the VW R32.